Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I have a fun video for you that has definitely not been done before, with a very special guest, Sarah Tuan. If you don't know who Sarah is, she's an incredible pianist who hails from one of, if not the most legendary music school in the world, Juilliard. If you haven't seen the video that I made with her, where we went into a deep dive on what made Yoon Lim sound so good when he won the Van Cliburn competition, be sure to go check that out. In this video, we have 6 different examples or rounds where we compare 2 different pianists. One is a prodigy and the other is a professional. I've given Sarah the challenge of figuring out who is the professional and who is the prodigy. You can do the same by leaving a comment down below and after each round typing who you think is who. Without any further ado, let the games begin. So in these recordings, I have selected prodigies, which I've defined as young pianists with incredible talent who don't have a career in concertizing at the moment of that recording. So with these choices that I'll have, after each one, feel free to share your comments on what you liked and didn't like for each of the choices. And then after we're done with leaving our comments, I'll ask for you to guess which one is the prodigy and then which one is the professional. And then by the end, we'll see how many you can get. We're gonna run through 6 examples and then that'll be it. So, you excited?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm...
Let's go. Okay, so that was choice number 1. So what did you think of that?
Oh, okay, this is like way harder than I thought it would be. I don't know. I want to go with professional maybe. Like it was really like, solid and clean and like the quality was great. I don't really know. It's really hard to tell.
Yeah, okay. No,
Yeah.
I thought the same thing when I was doing this. I was like, I'm gonna try to make this super hard, but at the same time, like when you listen, I think to the next choice, you'll hear some differences that might help you. But yeah, I thought that one was super good too, and I love the concert hall that this pianist was performing in. So we'll just hop into choice number 2 then. Okay, so what do you think now?
Okay, so my thoughts have slightly changed, and it's not because I can actually tell who's better, but I'm pretty sure that like the second one is probably an older recording. It has that like old piano sound, and yeah, like the first phrase when the pianist played it was like, I felt personally it was a much like bolder personality, like a more sort of more risk taking. It sounded that way to me, so I think maybe a second one is the professional recording, maybe.
Okay, so you're locking in choice number 2 as a professional?
Yes.
Okay, so choice number 2 was not the professional, it was the prodigy in this case. And of course, like always, Sarah, like always, I gotta throw in Yoon Lim into a video.
Oh
so,
gosh.
This was him at 16. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and the first recording was Dmitri Shishkin, who was the professional. So when you said like very full, like your immediate instinct was to say that he was a professional. So you're definitely right in that case. So when I first listened to that recording by Yoon, I was like, okay, it does have that older kind of piano sound. And I think in the comment for that video, he was saying to actually get that piano changed, because it didn't sound, I guess, good to him. But yeah, it does give it that kind of older feel. And he, I think, interprets it more how other pianists interpret it as well, with a faster tempo. And so when I listened to Dmitri Shishkin play, I was like, okay, maybe he's drawing it out a little more and he's kind of bending around with the tempo. But with Yoon, it sounded so good as well. I was like, okay, they're both really solid. And, so yeah.
Yeah, and I know Yoon takes a lot of inspiration from those like older school pianists like Horowitz and like Rachmaninoff. Yeah, so that's why maybe it might sound a bit that way.
Yeah, definitely. So sweet. Okay, we'll hop into round number 2 now. So
oh gosh.
Yeah, let's get into it.
I don't know. I kind of want to hear both of them before I say anything.
Okay, cool, cool. That's what we'll do. Let's go into the second one then. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay. So I kind of want to say the same thing. Like, I kind of think second might be the professional recording. Yeah. I always have that vibe that like the one I think is the professional recording is much more like daring and a little like I would say less cautious but still really in control. The first one was really clean and really like everything was on point, but I didn't have the same vibe as the second one, but I could be wrong again. So
Sarah, you're correct. You are correct. The second one is the professional. It is Tiffany Poon who's playing that. It's super famous recording. I know that plenty of people have listened to it, and so many think it's sped up. But I think you're right. She does take a lot of risks with it, and it's super clear. I think her phrasing is great. And then with the first choice, this was somebody, I guess, even at this age of being 13, I think in this video, Ji-chun Park. Yeah, he's, I guess, super well known on YouTube now.
yeah,
it was great. It was very clear, like you had mentioned, but I think you're right. Maybe not that it was flat, but there wasn't that element of risk or trying to go for something a little more grand, and so that's what I thought as well. But
yeah,
the overall shape and tempo was definitely solid. So yeah.
Yeah, at 13, oh my gosh.
Yeah, 13. It is wild. I mean, now you've got 11-year-olds that are playing like I don't even know, Mephisto Waltz at this point. So it's pretty wild, but definitely cool to see. So well then, let's get into example number 3.
Yeah, so I'm leaning towards the second one being the professional recording again, because I did kind of hear sort of that older quality, like recording wise, also interpretation wise. There's definitely more unique moments like of sound, whereas the first one I think like sound wise and phrasing wise it was a little more conventional, even though both of them were really beautiful recordings.
So the second one, believe it or not, is the Prodigy in this case.
Oh my gosh.
And it's Alexandra Dovgan, and she's 13 years old here too, which blew my mind because when I listened to this, I agree with you. I do like this interpretation more than choice 1, which was Marc-Andre Hamelin. And I've listened to his Rachmaninoff enough to know kind of what I'm expecting from him when he interprets his music.
Yeah.
And what I thought was interesting was after the opening, he kind of he picks up the tempo a little bit more and almost blends the sounds, but I almost like the simplicity that Alexandra gives in her interpretation. That's how I would play it too. But both are amazing in their own right, and I definitely appreciate them.
And she's Russian, right? Like I sort of felt that the second recording does have sort of like that like old Russian like pianist quality to it. Like maybe like like Lugansky or Rachmaninoff himself, that kind of language, like musical syntax. Yeah.
Yes, that's a great point. Oh my gosh, Lugansky. That I don't have him in this video, and I was actually really close to bringing him for actually the Rachmaninoff Etude. But yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay, so now we will go into round number 4. So we've got a few more. So let's see how this one goes.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, so my first instinct is telling me that, obviously second recording is faster, and it's like, oh, pianists can play faster, they're better, but it's actually not necessarily the case. In this case, maybe I think the first one, I would say I enjoyed the first one a bit more. It was just more carefully thought out, more detailed, so I'm going with first choice. I really don't know at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
You actually called out my psychological warfare tactic right there. So the first one, which you're guessing, is the Prodigy, and not
wow.
and not the Professional. And actually, his name is Ziyu Zhao. He was somebody who commented on a video of mine that I made about child prodigies, and he said that he studies with the same teacher as Alexander Malafeев.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so he's 12 years old here, and which is mind-boggling. I had never heard this etude until I saw this video of him playing this. I was like, whoa, this is wild. So I was like, okay, let me just search up some other interpretations.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came across choice number 2, which is Mackenzie Melamed. I don't know if I'm
Oh,
pronouncing
okay.
it. Do you know him?
Yeah, he studied with my teacher before, so that's great.
Whoa, that's cool. Okay, yeah. So his was what I thought was great about his, and you're right, it is the faster tempo. So I thought, like, okay, well, the first one maybe sounds more like an etude because it's very straight, and it really did sound more like of an actual study. Like that's what it sounded like I was listening to, rather than like a concert piece. Maybe like Chopin's etudes, for instance.
Yeah.
But when I listened to Mackenzie's, I was like, the tempo was wild to me, but the fact that he could so easily, I think, point out different characters in the actual opening itself. I really felt like there was like a cat chasing a mouse or something, and you could hear these two different distinct characters and like that kind of collision, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, I was really impressed to hear Ziyu when he played it as well. I was like, wow, it's pretty solid.
Yeah, that's amazing for 12.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah. Let's get into the fifth, second to last round.
Not doing well.
No, it really just goes to show you how incredible younger people are now at playing the piano. It's it's pretty crazy to me. So anyway, let's get into the fifth round. Sorry for the weird ending. I don't know why I cut the excerpt off right there, but yeah, what did you think? Yeah.
I really can't tell at this point. They I'm just kind of throwing a wild guess out here. I'm kind of leaning toward the second one as being a professional recording. I just feel that maybe they were a little bit more There were some nuances that were present, but honestly, they both sounded great. I really don't know. Especially for Beethoven, it's really hard to tell, at least for me personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my boy Ziyu took another dub. He took another dub. Yeah, so choice number 2 was Ziyu.
Wow.
I think in most of these cases you like how the Prodigies sound more, which I find interesting. Mm-hmm. So choice number 1 was Yuja.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
sorry.
Found yes, we bow down to the queen. No, so what I found interesting about her interpretation was the trills. If you notice, she goes a little longer on them, and what Ziyu does, I think, is maybe more faithful to Beethoven, because that's how I hear most people interpret the sonata. And I just loved how simple and easygoing it was. It reminded me a lot of Daniel Barenboim. If you ever have the time to go check out his recording, it sounds very similar to me, and I love the way he interprets Beethoven. Yeah. So.
Very traditional sound that I do enjoy with like most recordings where it's more faithful to what the composer wanted.
Yeah, and I definitely felt that as well. I was like, okay, I think he is going for a more faithful kind of interpretation. And look, when you're Yuja, it doesn't even matter. I mean, like,
do whatever.
She can do whatever she wants. Yeah. So at this point, I can't. I'm in no position to critique her. So, okay, let's get into the 6th and final round.
Wow. Which Prodigy's playing now? Oh my gosh. That's great. I still kind of think it's probably the second one is questionable. I just had a more, maybe it's the recording, but I felt that it had a much richer sound. Maybe like an adult would produce, but I don't know though. I've sucked at this game, and I might be wrong again.
Oh, I feel so bad, Sarah. I feel so bad. I don't know if I made this hard or if the Prodigies made this hard themselves. But choice number 2. I'm literally such a fanboy. This is terrible, but it is Yunchen again. This is the last time I think I'm ever putting him. Did you think it was him?
Yeah. I thought it was him, probably.
He has 2 different Mephisto Waltz recordings, and this was when he was 13 rather than, I think he was 16 or 17, the other one. And I actually like him playing it at 13 years old better than when he was older, which is interesting. I mean, the fact that he literally has, I feel, perfect technique at that age just blows my mind. I mean, like, just at that point, it's a question of what he's feeling. Like, if he wants to just phrase something differently one day versus the next, I mean, that's literally what he could do. He could do it on command.
Yeah.
Which I do like his recording more than choice number 1, which was Daniil Trifonov. I think the recording that I pulled from was when he was competing at the Rubinstein competition. And I like that it's very explosive in certain areas, and I think he does bring out a lot of contrast.
Yeah.
But with Yun Chen's, I feel like it's paced so well, and it really feels like you're going on for a journey, and like
Right. Yeah.
you don't get the stress of listening to it, but you get all of the enjoyment, which maybe I felt like I got from Daniil a little bit. Nonetheless, they're both incredible recordings, but yeah, those are my thoughts on it. So.
No, I thought it might be Yun Chan because it had that like Yun Chan fire quality, if you know what I mean. Yeah, but I was thinking, maybe it might also be a master pianist. I don't know. That says a lot about how good Yun Chan is, though.
Yeah, no. I could go on for days about him, but yeah, but I feel like Yun Chan plays this extremely well. I don't know why I threw him in more than once. I tried to literally also get some different composers and maybe some more interesting pieces. I know that some of these are more popular than others, but yeah. So, anyways,
it was fun though.
Maybe what we could do is, I'm thinking we get more people in for another video where we try to see. It's like it's a battle of teams. Who can guess? Who can guess? And you can literally reason with each other. That could be.
Yeah.
Maybe we do that, guys. Drop 2,000 likes on this video, and I'll put it. I'll make this happen. But anyway, thank you, Sarah, for joining me on this. I don't know why I made this so hard.
I mean, no, it's they made it hard. The kids made it hard. The podcast, whatever, and you know.
the kids are cracked nowadays. I don't understand. I mean, yeah, I honestly just get sometimes depressed listening to this. But you know what? It's more motivation than depression. But
it makes me hopeful about the future of classical music when the kids are good, and we can't even tell what if they're professionals or not. It's crazy for me.
Yeah, it's wild. But thank you guys for watching this video. If you did enjoy the video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe. Go check out Sarah's socials, please. She was amazing on this video. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, everyone.